Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Smart Money Minds. I have to tell you that I often idolize big-time players who make millions of dollars in their first couple of years of contract.
Kobe Bryant by mid-season will be a guy that, though he's 18, he'll be a key guy for the Lakers.
Number 97, Connor McDavid.
This past summer, they didn't just win the lottery, they won the Powerball.
The party underway.
Hell, sometimes they even have an amazing career and make a ridiculous amount of money throughout their entire lifetime. They get the girls, they get the money, they get the looks, they get the athletic prowess. I mean, what else do they got? All I got are short, stubby legs and messy hair. But what I'm learning is that a lot of these athletes are losing all their cash in divorces, expensive lawsuits, in bad investments, almost immediately after their career is over. So you might have heard recently that Adrian Peterson, the highest earning running back in the NFL with over $100 million, is owing people millions of dollars right now. And I'm sure you know other famous athletes like Mike Tyson or NBA's Allen Iverson that have gone bankrupt after their careers. And in this article, it says a whopping 78% of NFL players and about 60% of NBA players go broke or bankrupt after their playing career is over. So why is that the case? And what lesson can we learn from these high earners? Look, just because these guys are masters at their craft, whether it's playing basketball or playing baseball, doesn't mean that they're good with money. So let's explore what went wrong here. The first thing is that these guys are amazing at what they do. Whether it is shooting a basketball, running 100 meters, or catching a football, they spend an enormous amount of time focused on this one skill, which can be very dangerous because it leads to a lack of development in other skills. Let's look at people like famous painters like Vincent van Gogh, who would cut off his own ear as an extreme example. Great at painting, bad at surgery. A lot of these athletes did not excel in traditional school as well. Some of these athletes might have come from impoverished families, and a lot of them got into college with sports scholarships. So oftentimes they wouldn't encounter financial education or planning during their school years either. Once they get drafted and get their first big contract, they are faced with a large amount of money for the first time in their lives. And imagine going from a minimum wage job to making $1 million a year. The first thought isn't really to, save the majority of it and invest the rest. I would just want a Ferrari and a big old house for my family and to provide for everyone. Suddenly, as your income increases dramatically, so does your expense. They've made it, so now they're gonna go live larger than life. Throw big ass parties, doing all sorts of crazy drugs off all sorts of crazy girls in Vegas or off a yacht in Ibiza. With the media announcing how big or how much your contracts are, the public and even people who are close to you will try to feed off of you. They know that you have the big money and are willing to share. So, they're going to try to clamor onto the money train because who doesn't want to work but still get fed? The problem is when you start supporting people financially and don't set rules and boundaries, then those people will tend to overspend something that's just not theirs and ask for more and more and more because that's human nature. Human nature is generally greedy. Also, while these players are living the high life and financially supporting their entire family and more, their own lives are scheduled to a T. Their entire training schedule, what to eat, what time to practice, where to be, are all told to them by the team that they're playing for. And there's people to guide them every step of the way, so there's limited thinking involved except to just focus on the game that you're playing. So now after a successful career, let's look at where their lives are now. At this point, they have significantly reduced income, except for maybe sponsorships or other gigs or commercials and whatnot. but they're still carrying all this extra weight of expenses. They're probably paying for 5 to 10, if not 20 people's living expenses that are their family or their friends. And these athletes are used to living the high life, and they probably have friends still getting their big salaries who are still probably partying and whatnot. So they're gonna feel like they're gonna miss out if they don't do these expensive parties and spend a lot of money. Lastly, this player will start to have to manage their own life. They won't have someone to tell them what to schedule to do. What are they gonna do for retirement? What is their plan? There's no more guidance and tell them what to do anymore, and there's a lot of discovery that they have to do for themselves, and along with this heavy debt burden and expense can cause a lot of players to overspend well beyond into their careers. It's very common for pro athletes to live in million-dollar mansions during their career, yet live in a one-bedroom apartment in the aftermath of their amazing careers. And the funny thing is that if they only just spent minimally during their careers, they could live in their million-dollar mansions for the rest of their lives. It's similar to those who win the lottery, but 3 to 5 years later, they become worse off than before because of all the bad spending habits that they picked up. We may not run into money in our lifetime, but that's probably a good thing because big money can lead to big problems and bad habits. Just because we have it doesn't mean that we shouldn't save it or invest it in the stock market. If we dramatically increase our expense, then it's very easy to go back to where we started. What we need to do is buy assets with that money and things that will produce more money for you. If you, for example, want to buy that Ferrari and you have $300,000, you can buy that Ferrari, but that's all you're gonna have. However, what I would do is I would spend that $300,000 to buy an apartment, find a renter, and use that rent money to lease a Ferrari, because that's what I would do, because I know a car is a liability. And likely I wouldn't want to get a Ferrari for longer than a few years of fun, because I'd be pretty worn out having to figure out how low I have to get into the damn car. In the end, having money is awesome, and why wouldn't it be? Just don't spend it recklessly. Use the money to create more wealth for yourself and have it last a lifetime. In the comments below, let me know what you would do if you came into some wealth all of a sudden. I mean, this ain't a trick question. If you're welcome to say you're gonna spend it on hookers and drugs for all I care, but I like to hear your thoughts. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys next time.